as he said. All right, so roll call, said?
Roll call.
Okay. Mike Petroff,
Present.
David Perkins, Ian Milne, Sean Harrigan,
Here.
Rick Darty.
Here. Dave Perkins said he plans to be here, but he'll be late getting here, so.
Okay,
Ian's out of town.
And Ian's out of town.
I will make note of
Okay.
that, thank you.
I ask everybody before the Pledge of Allegiance, if you have a phone, please silence that too. We'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Yep. Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very good. Do we have any announcements?
Yes, I would like to announce that Mr. Disher will not be here today, so the last two items on our agenda, actually the last item, the last item under staff comments, we are going to reschedule that for our next meeting in September.
Okay,
Okay?
that's it?
And that is the BSI perimeter canal barge access.
Okay. Next meeting is scheduled for October 11th at 1:30. Does anybody have a problem with that? Nope.
Nope.
Okay, so that sounds good. Public comment. I have to make an announcement on public comment. Anyone wishing to address the Burnt Store Isles Canal Committee on any subject may do so at the appropriate time during the meeting. Those who choose to speak must state their name. For the record, each person will be allowed to speak up to a maximum of 3 minutes. I ask that not only state your name, but also your address, within BSI. So anyway, with that, on to approval of the minutes. Has everybody read the minutes and any comments?
Yeah, move to approve. Sean Harrigan, I move to approve the minutes as written.
Okay.
Right. I second.
Okay, Sean has moved and Mike is second. Any other comment? I read them over, they look good. I agree. So, vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so moved. And with that, we're on to the next area of various reports. Finance report.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. Kathy Miller, Canal Maintenance. In your packet, you have 3 months. Yes, 3 months of financial reports. It's been a
I
while.
went through all 3 of them, yeah.
Yes, yes. Are there any questions or concerns?
No.
I would like to mention that it is my plan in our October meeting to present the closing budget items and then what our proposed budget items are for the next fiscal year. So we'll discuss that at our next meeting.
So when is the budget approved? When will it?
Tonight, as a matter of fact, is their first
Tonight.
public hearing.
Okay,
So I can't really talk about it because it hasn't been approved. So
right,
I'll
I
wait
understand
till
that,
October
but
meeting.
I just wanted to know what the timing was on
Gotcha.
the approval process. So it starts tonight and,
It's usually in September when they approve the budgets.
okay. So this is in September, so usually it's within September.
Yes.
Okay. Anything on the finance? I guess we're on the budget then.
Okay.
Well, that's actually what we've been
I have
talking
some
about.
notes on here. So we have all been talking about our rate increases and such. So this year, our budget for, Seawall replacement was $386,190. We were able to replace 1,268 lineal feet. However, we did have a seawall failure on Tripoli, so we had to take money from one account and add it to our seawall replacement account to pay for that seawall failure, and that was on Tripoli. That was 101 lineal feet. So we had a total of 1,369 lineal feet. Okay, this year, this coming up year, what's been proposed for council for approval, our budget is going to be $556,605, and we're looking at about 1,522 lineal feet, okay? We did see an increase in our contract items, and like I said, we'll go over that again in October once council has approved all that. But I just wanted you to know what those numbers were, as we're going through that process,
Okay.
okay?
Anything else?
Nope, any other questions?
Nope.
Okay,
We're good, guys? Moving on, next item, seawall replacement status.
okay. All projects are completed in the Burnt Store Isles, okay? We did have an issue where we were having a problem with getting sod, but we've resolved that issue, so all projects have been completed. We don't consider a project complete until the sod has been placed, just so you understand.
So we're done for the year in
Done for
BSI.
the year, done for the year,
Wow.
yep. Unless there's no failures. Knocking on
Knock on
Yeah,
wood,
yeah,
Okay.
knocking on wood.
yeah. Permits?
Were there any questions about the, building permits?
I didn't have any, guys. Did you?
No, I do not.
Nothing,
Nothing?
no.
Okay. Nothing in particular, Kathy, as far as those are concerned then?
Okay,
Capital improvement,
so
3
Mr.
months.
Mr. Disher is not here. Did you
Yeah.
have any questions or concerns with the
Yeah.
capital improvement?
So I guess the same thing with a master permit as well?
Right. Pardon me?
Master permit,
Right, is there any questions on that? Mr. Disher usually
yeah,
presents
Gary
that.
would be on that one too, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, that being said,
Well, moving on, pretty quick. We do have, the next thing, I guess, on the agenda is the special permit.
All right, so anyone intending to offer testimony in today's proceedings, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in today's proceedings? All right, when you are ready to speak, please step to the podium, state your name, and indicate you've been sworn. Thank you.
You're up.
For the record, Brian Clemens, Public Works Director, I have been sworn. I'd like to introduce application number CCSP 02-2022 by Kiesling Construction on behalf of the owner Bradley Daniels of Lot 29, Block 260, Section 15, also identified as 3567 Tripoli Boulevard. The applicant is proposing to construct a dock, a 4-piling boat lift, and a second personal watercraft lift. The reason for the special permit application is due to the second lift on a property with less than 85 feet of seawall, and the second lift, when rotated, being outside the structure limitation lines. Per the Charlotte County GIS, this property has 73.6 feet of seawall, and the canal is over 200 feet wide at this location. Based on staff's review of the application per Article 2, Section 2-1E4, favorable consideration is recommended. I have the plan there on the screen behind y'all. I guess you can see it on the TVs
Yeah.
in front too. With that, I can turn it over to the applicant if they would like to present any additional information.
Afternoon, Jake Dive for the record. I'm the agent for the applicant, and I work for Kiesling Construction. This is, we're caught up with less than 85 feet, having the extra PWC lift out there. It sits on the dock when it's not being used, so it's not really interfering with navigation. It's just the fact that it's a second lift for under 85 feet. So I'll answer any questions that you have.
It's a personal watercraft lift that would actually swing over the dock when
Right.
when
Yeah,
not in
it's-
use or when storing a personal
Yeah,
watercraft?
when it's in use, it rotates out, sits in front of the dock, lowers down. When it's not in use, it comes up out of the water, swings over the dock and sits on the dock when it's not in use.
Mhm.
When it's on the dock, it doesn't overhang the structural limitation line. It's one of these new things where if it rotates around, then it violates it at some point, so we turn it into a special permit.
Just out of curiosity, the neighbors on each side of that property, has this information been shared with them? And if so, do they have any concerns with, this swinging out over there?
I can tell you that they have been notified because the city has a requirement to send out notification to everybody within a certain distance. I'm not aware that there've been any objections to it. I'd be surprised if anybody would object because nothing's sticking out anywhere. It's sitting on the dock, so it's pretty compact. It doesn't interfere with anybody's view. It's not going to interfere with their navigation. Certainly, they don't have any right to navigate in that part of the water anyways. The city might have some correspondence that would say different, but I'm not aware of any.
Got it, thank you.
For the record, Brian Clemens, Public Works. I've displayed the map that all those properties are where the mailings went to. The site is also, there's a yard sign that goes up as
Yep,
well as it's
I've seen that,
placed in it's an
Yep.
ad in the newspaper.
Okay, cool, thank you.
I don't really have any other questions. Sean, do you have anything?
Move to close.
Let's see, we have to ask 3 times before we close, correct?
All right.
So I have to ask 3 times if there's any further public comment concerning this application. So that was number 1?
Oh.
Okay.
I'm sorry I got here late, because I didn't have the address.
Yep, I will have to swear you in. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in today's proceedings?
Yes.
All right, just when you're ready to speak, just state your name and indicate you've been sworn.
Jennifer Bayless, and we have just moved to the area, so I was kind of concerned about it. But now looking at that, it's just a dock or a lift that is going to swing out, not an additional one that's going to be on it? Because when we moved in, we asked if we could push out too, but they kept saying it's by code, you can't. So that's why I was kind of concerned, because we wanted to do it too, make ours a little wider and have the boat extend over the dock a little bit more, and they said no. So I was just wondering, now that I see this, that it's just a swinging lift?
And normally
And it's still within the 7.5 feet? The lift is within the 7.5 feet that you're supposed to be off the property line?
Yeah, the 45, is that right?
I was gonna say,
So I assume you're talking about the structure limitation line, which is formed by 45-degree angles off the property corners, in most cases. So I don't know if is your dock 7.5 feet wide? Maybe that's how they came up with
7
So
feet,
that's probably
because
where
it's
they're
a narrow
roughly what they're
area.
coming up with,
Yeah.
the 7.5 feet.
Right.
Okay, because we had to be off the end of the property line 7.5 feet
If
when
you're-
the property line went out off to the wall.
So a 45-degree angle, whatever distance you're coming out from the seawall, you're gonna have an equal distance over from the property corner.
Okay, so if I'm reading this right, that circle with the dot and the little circle that's at the corner of the dock,
Yes.
that's the lift?
Yes, this is
Okay.
right here.
Sorry, I'm okay with it. I just was wondering if it was another whole lift for a boat, that we're gonna have 2 boats out there, but it's not.
No, it's a personal watercraft. It's a-
Okay, all right, that's it, thank you.
Okay. Okay, we've already asked 1 time,
2 more.
2 more to go. So the second time I'm asking, does anybody have any additional comment concerning this application? Nope. Okay, so I get to ask a 3rd time. Does anybody else have any further comments concerning this application? Okay, seeing none,
Move to close.
Sean moves to close.
I second.
Mike seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. It's closed. And then, let's see, what do we have to do now? Do we have to
I'm gonna move to approve.
move to approve? Okay. So Sean moves to approve. Mike, you want to second
I
that?
second that.
All right. I agree. The only thing I would ask of the owner, is that when he uses this, that he swings it out over, that when he takes a personal watercraft off, that he swings the lift itself back over the dock. So I recognize it's a wide spot in the water, but I would ask that he be aware that we're giving this approval based upon him being.
I think you want to condition the motion then to include that
Yes.
condition.
Yes,
If that's,
I would like to see that. So he just doesn't stick it out there, leave it out there even while he's using the personal watercraft. Condition, okay, excellent.
So do we have to restate it? We do, don't we? Yeah, okay, so move to approve, based on the understanding that the lift will be returned to back over the dock once the loading or unloading process is complete.
Yes, excellent. Good way to put it, Sean.
All right?
Mike, you want to approve or second it?
I think
Yeah.
Jake had a question.
Just to make everybody feel good, is we put in quite a few of these, and we give them written instructions and ask them to comply with that every time, that when they use the lift, they use it, and when if they take off in the jet ski, lift goes back over the dock when
Excellent.
they're finished with it, so
Excellent,
we understand that.
perfect. I like it. All right,
Second? Did
I
you-
second.
All right, perfect.
all right. All in favor?
All right,
Aye. All right. Motion carries. It's been approved. What do we have next?
For the record, Kathy Miller, Canal Maintenance. In your packets today, I put in there the proposed seawall replacement program.
Yep.
I've also included a map so you guys can see what projects we did last year. Those are the ones that are colored in green, and the projects we're proposing this year are in orange. I know when we were going through the rate increase conversation, the goal was to eliminate all of the red-colored 5 rated seawalls. However, that's a little tough when you only have like maybe 12 feet of number 5 rated seawall in an 80-foot long property. We couldn't capture all of the number 5 rated walls.
All right,
But we can put those in the program for next year.
okay,
So what we did was we analyzed the data and we captured all the number 4 and 5 rated seawalls that had the longest lengths, and we replaced those. Those were a priority for us.
so if I remember correctly, we had a little over 2,000 linear feet of seawall, is that right?
I forget the number. I apologize. I should have had that.
Okay, so we're left with about 900 feet of that, roughly, I think, is the number.
Yeah.
And the next inspection is a year out or 2 years out?
So every other year. So we did,
We did it this year.
BSI this year.
2 years.
So in 2024
Okay,
is when we'll do BSI again. Okay.
all right,
So we at least have an idea of next year's replacement program.
okay,
Okay?
as we understand it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
unless something happened, catastrophe or something happened there.
Were there any other questions with the information that I gave you guys?
No, it looks good to me.
Okay.
And we're going to save the barge access till.
Correct, we're
back?
gonna do the barge presentation
Okay.
in October's meeting.
Guys, you have anything else?
You might get to set a record.
We may have. This reminds me of the first year I was at some of these.
Yeah, right.
For 3 months, too.
Wow.
You guys, Kathy, you have anything else?
No, I do
Yeah.
not, thank you very much.
All righty. Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Mike?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, good. We're adjourned.